Hey, what's happening, everybody? I hope you're all fantastic today. I want to thank you all for stopping by the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome to the Silver Screen Analysis. I hope you enjoy what you hear in this review. I hope you decide to subscribe so you can come back for future videos. Today, we're going to be breaking down a horror remake. This one's based off the classic Stephen King novel called Pet Sematary. It's about a family that moves out to a rural home in Maine to get away from the city life, and they discover that there's a mysterious burial ground on their property that has been the resting place for local pets for years, that has a very sinister and ominous background to it. It's been 30 years since the original Pet Sematary came out. I enjoyed watching it growing up, and after just watching it recently to prep for this movie and this review, I have to say, while it still holds some nostalgia to it, it doesn't hold up very well at all. So for that aspect, I think this was a story that actually could benefit from an updating into the modern era. Now, I haven't read the book. I don't really plan on doing so. I'm going to break this remake down based on the cinematic entertainment that it brought to me and how much it really stacked up against the '89 original, which is something I think this movie fared pretty well at, because I have to say I had a good time watching it. I appreciated how this film was able to show some very strong inspiration from the original story while still being able to really infuse it with a lot of new directions and some added story layers. It really felt like an inspired reimagining of the original film, and I found it to be kind of a refreshing take on the central plot in this one. It isn't often that a remake can kind of hold true to the source material and still be able to provide some moments of unpredictability, but I have to say, much to my delight, this movie really did that, and it was surprisingly engaging to watch, not only to see the new paths that the story would take, but to also see where it would hold true to the original film, and I thought it was an enjoyable combination of elements overall. Something else I really enjoyed about this remake was the reliance on practical effects. Often horror remakes are just laced with an abundance of CGI, and it doesn't always work, but I think much like the original movie, this one really just provided some fun genre effects that really hit with some genuine intensity during many scenes throughout the story, but not everything worked in this one, I would say. I do think the musical score in this one was kind of just a little bit of a step down from the '89 film. It was, in that one, the score was really able to just heighten the mood of the story to build intensity on its own, and it was kind of missing in this one. It felt like a just kind of a very routine score that was much more noticeable overall, because I think the look of the film was a little bit routine as well, and it was sort of a hindrance to the fun of the movie, I think, because it certainly was a nicely shot film with a very capable use of lighting and backdrops to do a good job of creating a sinister and foreboding atmosphere, but it was just a movie that felt like one I had seen already before many times. The way the shots are framed up, the use of transitions and edits felt overly familiar. It has a studio polish to it as well, so despite some well-placed ominous visuals, it just felt like stuff I had already seen before. It was just kind of missing some of that grittiness that I think made the '89 film that much more dark and eerie in feeling. So while some of the modern aspects of the remake work for me, there were some noticeable places where that just overall time period feel seemed to kind of leave that feeling of something just missing from putting everything together the way it should be. I thought the performances all worked for the needs of the characters. I really enjoyed Jason Clarke in the lead. I thought it was leaps and bounds better than the lead character that we got in the original film. The character type itself is far from unique, but with Clarke's performance, I thought there was more than enough sincerity and emotional layers to grab onto. I think John Lithgow as Judd was fantastic casting. I mean, you can never go wrong with the great Fred Gwynne, but I thought Lithgow really brought a lot of heart to the role to make it his own. I think he was just naturally likable. He felt very authentic in this character to really make an impression on the film, and I thought young Jete Lawrence also did a great job in her role. She captured a range of emotions and a variety of intensity levels with a very capable performance, and I think she delivered what this story needed from her. Like I mentioned earlier, the script in this one adds some layers. It adds some new turns to the story. Some of them work, some of them don't so much. I really enjoyed that guardian angel subplot of Victor Pascow in the '89 film. I don't think it was developed with enough thought in this one. It kind of just felt mildly tacked on as the film progresses, and I just don't think it was woven into the storyline like it could have to really build that connection with the viewer like I think it did in the first film. I do think the overall family dynamic of the Creeds in this one was developed a little bit better. It felt just more like a normal, natural family with some chemistry between them that felt believable. It could have been stronger, certainly, but I definitely think it worked for the story. I also thought the backdrop of Rachel's character was nicely done at times, but the over-editing of the scenes with Zelda and a clear just reliance on CGI did kind of hinder hindered the subplot from being able to hit with that same level of horrific intensity that the original was able to accomplish, but I think a lot of that has to do with just the era of the times these films were shot. Overall, I had fun with this movie, much more fun than I was expecting. It felt both inspired by the source material, but also ambitious in wanting to expand on the layers of the original narrative, and that's all you can really ask for in a remake. It was very entertaining in my opinion. It had some charming moments of horror, so I'm going to have to give Pet Sematary 80% on the entertainment meter. I haven't read the book, and I did enjoy the original movie growing up, but I wouldn't say I have a very strong emotional connection to the source material or the storyline in general, so I may have liked this movie more than some people, but as a person just wanting to go in and see a very engaging horror movie and all the fun stuff that comes with it, I have to say this delivers a good time at the theater. Now, before I let you guys get out of here, I just want to let you know to be on the lookout for my next video coming very soon. It's going to be the 4th episode of the film Face Off. We're going to be breaking down Pet Sematary 89 versus Pet Sematary 2019 in 5 different categories. We're going to grade them in each, tally up the scores at the end, and see if the remake or the original is the better film. I have a good time making these videos. I haven't gotten to do one in a while because they take a little bit more time. They're a little bit more meticulous than the regular review videos, but I think they're a good time to watch. So I got one coming out very soon all about Pet Sematary. If you haven't gotten the past episodes yet, I did one on Death Wish, I've done one on Tomb Raider, and I also compared Ringu with the US version Ring. So I'll leave the links to those all down in the description, but be on the lookout for the next video coming soon. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop it a thumbs up, leave a comment below. I'd love to talk movies with you guys. Share it with your friends, and without question, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can never miss a video. Here are some links to some recent reviews just in case you missed them. All my social media links and the link to our official website are down in the description below, and I'll catch you next time.